Okay, so we have a really cool pod with us here. So Alana, who last time that she played Blue Farm actually was in Punt City. And she top 16 Punt City by going 5-0 in the Swiss. Really, really impressive show out. Then you have Ken, Tier 1 Con winner, Krark Sakashima. He is basically like the Krark Saka guy, knows this deck inside and out and has put up the best results with this deck out of anybody that we know in the scene. You have Alex, the Kenrith deck. He's won a, was it a Playing with Power tournament? Playmax. Yeah, Alex won Playmax while playing Kenrith. He is like the Kenrith guy. And then you have Josh, an amazing Niv-Mizzet pilot, who Shauna is going to be able to give us tons of insight about Niv-Mizzet with, because, she is like the Niv-Mizzet girl. And you can see people are displaying their hands. It looks like Ken is mulling down to 5 cards, which is a pretty aggressive mulligan for Ken. He usually likes to keep hands that are a little bit more interactive, things that, keep a lot of cards at hand. But in a pod like this, he might feel really, really pressured to keep less cards in his hand.
Yeah, I think he can rely on the Niv-Mizzet player to... Oh, by the way, it's Zain here. To kind of interact. I know that deck is full of interaction. If I was at this table, if I was Alana, if I was Alex, I would just put the burden on one of these Izzet players to deal with stuff, and I'd just be trying to win, or trying to win second at least. Is Niv still good? Yeah, it's pretty good. Top events, powerful card. You can get that on the board. You usually just win. Or come close to it.
Everybody won the last one.
Is that the case, Zain? So for this pod?
Yep, everybody's won.
Oh, everyone has won.
Okay, so yeah, so this is a winners pod. So the way that our brackets work here is that if winners get paired against winners, and so all these players have won their first game. So it's a pretty good showing for who we've got out here between Alana, Ken, Alex, and Josh.
And you can follow along on the bracket. If you go to eminence.events and you go onto the Silicon Dynasty page, there will be a view bracket button. You'll be able to see and follow along as this tournament goes on.
Yeah, it's a really sick feature that really helps with people like keeping track of what.
Look at her start.
Okay, we're getting a turn 1 Kraum out. These other players who have gone down to 5, they need to play their cards. She's gonna refill by the time it gets to her turn. Looking pretty powerful magic. I wouldn't put it past Alex to just have the perfect cards in hand to stall this game until he can win, though. He always does that to me. So, I don't know how he does. He just does magic tricks, and he just has the perfect answers to just stop me from winning. So he might be doing it here as well. I've seen him do it multiple times. Okay, there's a Git probe coming out here. Who's it targeting? Oh, first we're going to flip.
Oh, yeah, we got a turn 1 Krark down with a Git probe. There's a Kraum trigger for the cast. This is a really impressive start from the players here. Yeah, so we got some Krark triggers here. It looks like, oh, dude, I love Ken's tokens here for these Krark tokens here for the copies. And
yeah, I don't know. Was he trying to... Where do you buy these things?
I believe he made these.
Oh, he made these?
Somebody made them for him.
Oh, someone made them for him? I think I know who made them for him, but I don't want to get it wrong, so I don't want to say. Yeah, I think that's correct.
Yeah, so the Dark Ritualist is helping us here. Yeah, so Ken Bauman had a buy in round 1, and then the other 3 players at the table all won their first game. So that's how this pod ended up like it is. So last time that we saw Alex on an Eminent stream, he lost to a turn 1 Thoracle consultation. So
I don't think that's happening because the only other person playing that just played Kraum and passed.
Yeah, I think that Alex is hoping to get at least a turn 1 in this game. The last time that we saw Alex play, he was also going 4th in turn order. The Git probe copy ended up targeting Alex, and then we can see that we're drawing a card here, and then it looks like the original resolved as well. So we got lucky there with our Krark flip. We're also looking at Alana's hand.
Just no respect for the Niv player. Doesn't want to know what type of interaction is in the hand. I don't know if this is a good matchup. Like, does Krark Saka versus Niv-Mizzet, is that a good matchup for the Krark player? They don't care what the Niv player has to do. I feel like that answer is no, because if Niv comes out, it's hard to storm off.
So something that I will say is that like you always hear about the the strife, or at least we hear because we work with Shauna, of if Niv-Mizzet is better than Krark Sakashima. So here we get to see the Izzet decks really kind of go at it with each other head to head.
Yeah, I love these Izzet decks like Kraum and Kenrith, Krark, Saka, Niv-Mizzet. Yeah, crazy stuff.
I
They
love
all have that Izzet color identity. Which one of these Izzet decks is going to come out on top? I'm seriously at the edge of my seat to find out.
Oh, we hear Kian in chat from the Sad Nas, the Sad Nas Twitch saying, "Oh, Adam knows how to Krark stack resolves."
I don't.
I've played against it enough that I feel like I have a good inclination, but we're gonna see as the game progresses how good I really am. Awesome miscut Krark there too by Ken.
Yeah,
on
he
the
has
board.
he has some cool Krarks. I've seen his stack.
Yes.
His stash. His I don't know what do you want to call it. His hoard.
His horde, yeah. And then I think we're going to pass the turn there. So now we're moving on to Josh's turn. So we're going to see if this Niv-Mizzet turn is as explosive as that Krark turn. Jeweled Lotus Get Probe is pretty good.
No, it's not. These Niv needs to get into like turn 3, I believe, to really start presenting itself as a threat. Right now, they're just going to be setting up. Everyone's just setting up. Turn 2 is where we'll see where this game will probably go. If Alana has some more explosive stuff or even a win on her turn, I think this table's done. However, if we start moving into turn 3, my meter on her to win this game is going to go down as the Niv-Mizzet and the Krark player and the Kenrith player are all going to start establishing themselves.
Mm-hmm. So you can see from Josh here, we did a Flood Strand as our land for turn, cracked it right away to get a Volcanic Island, and then we used that Volcanic Island to hardcast Ragavan, not dashing it. So kind of setting up board state, maybe getting some mana advantage if that Ragavan gets the opportunity to stick around. Only problem is everyone has developed blockers. So you have to hope here that Alex, who played an Exotic Orchard and then passed, isn't going to have anything to defend with, which it looks like that's going to be the case. We moved to Alana's turn where she rolled for Mana Crypt. Seems like she lost the flip there and took 3 damage because of it. So now we're going to see what Alana is going to do outside of this Kraum development. Kraum already drew her 1 card, but that's it so far. Only 1 card.
So things I'm looking at here is like Alex didn't play, he played Exotic Orchard. I don't even know how many cards he kept, so I'm a little suspicious what's happening here. Does he really not have anything? Is it just a tutor? He kept a 4? I don't know. Notably, the dockside count here is non-existent. So if Alana kept something relying on dockside, it's not going to be able to be executed here. Yeah, there's actually no artifacts out except for this Mana Crypt. Pretty surprising stuff.
Yeah, that's really rare to see in a pod like this, that there's no real mana development. But we did see 2 Jeweled Lotuses get played. So that might explain why, we had some keeps here that had some really strong turn 1 plays, but then it doesn't really lead to like mana development in the late game.
More card draw coming out. So Alana has looked at the table, decided that they're going to develop. She decides she can't develop much faster than them. So we're just going to go into card draw and see if we can just drown them out in advantage. Everyone else kept 5s or something like that, so it's a pretty good plan. Maybe next turn the Tymna will come out. We'll start seeing the game to slate to end. I want to say turn 4, turn 5 is where this game will end.
Yeah, I mean, so Krark Sakashima
huge swing right here.
Yeah. There's a lot of development that Krark Sakashima can do that can lead to like a turn 3 win, and something like a Tavern Scoundrel is very much on that pace, right? So every time you flip a coin, you're going to make is it a treasure token? 2 treasure tokens?
I think it's 2.
Yeah, so you're going to see huge mana advantage coming from Ken now, unless that Tavern Scoundrel gets out of play. You can remove the Krark here too as well, but that Tavern Scoundrel is going to continue to be a problem for you because these decks are designed to just continuously cast Krark. You can see that Josh has swung in with the Ragavan at Alex. Alex flipped over a miscast, and then Josh has made that treasure token. Now, something that you'll see with like Niv-Mizzet decks like Josh is he's probably not going to use this treasure token because it helps develop Niv-Mizzet later in the game. You see a Spellskite getting put on the stack here. Is that correct?
Yep, Spellskite's going to sit there to protect the Niv if it ever comes out. Okay, yeah, so Enlightened Tutor coming out. I assume this is... If I was Alex here, I don't know what his hand is. The 3 targets I'd pick is Mana Crypt,
Mystic
Remora, or Rhystic Study. I don't think it's going to be Rhystic Study. He doesn't have the mana for it.
Unless he sandbags something like a Mana Crypt for in case Alana or some other player at this table had a turn 2 dockside.
It's fair.
that could be a really smart play by Alex here, and I wouldn't be surprised to see that.
Notably, the dockside count is now 3 for Alex, which pretty good. Oh, 4 if the treasure doesn't get cracked. So
Yeah,
pretty good
absolutely.
stuff. Dockside in Kenrith that should put the table on high alert. It's a win con in the deck. They reanimate it, bring it back, do some loops. You lose the game. You know how that stuff works.
Yeah.
Just read the card.
And
I'm
look
not
at-
going to
hey,
explain it.
We're getting Mana Crypt here.
Yeah, there we
so
go.
I'm curious if Alex maybe has something like the Ristic Study in hand or another piece that develops his board a lot faster.
It could be Ristic Study. I would keep a turn 2 Ristic Study in 4th easily.
Yeah, absolutely. It looks like... Oh, Ken just showing off his...
Yeah,
nice
he's showing
card
off that
tokens.
horde that we were talking about earlier.
Ken always comes with like a really...
Oh.
All right,
Shauna's
Zain-
gonna come
yep.
on.
Zane's stepping out for a bit. We're having Shauna return.
I did walk out to the game, and that big delay after that Gitaxian probe targeted both Alex and Alana was Ken sharing with the table that Alex currently has a Kinnan in hand, and Alana has a Demonic Consultation in hand.
So very spicy
Immediately
stuff.
starting off the game with lots of politics there.
Yeah, and we can actually cut to the players here so you can see what's going on. Look at how everybody's deep in thought, right? Thinking about everything that's getting put on the stack. This is my favorite thing about this new stream setup that we have is that we actually get to see the players at the table. So you can see Alex kind of working out his plays here, trying to describe what's going on to the table. And everybody else is just deep in thought. Alana's really staring him down, trying to get a read on what Alex is doing at the table here. So really, really cool stuff to see. And Alex, still just, working on that ET. Looks like we're fetching for a land here. Going to put that Mana Crypt into play and see what happens. So very, very cool to see. Let's see if I can get this to work too. Look at this. Oh, we can see the players too. This is so sick. So yeah, you can see this table talk going on here. Alana kind of talking about what Alex is doing. Alex playing this Mana Crypt. Are you paying for Esper Sentinel? Alex is saying no. And we're going to tap out here. 2 mana holding up the Mana Crypt, and we have a Kinnan being put on the stack now. Alana drawing another card from the Kraum trigger here. Check this out, Zain. I've got the game pulled up as well as a view on the players. You can see them
Who's
politicking.
Zain? I'm Shauna.
Okay. So, and then it looks like after the Kinnan resolved, we pass turn over to Alana. So Alana's drawing for turn. Alana drew 2 cards in that exchange from Alex's turn. One from the Esper Sentinel on the Mana Crypt, and then one from the Kinnan. So I wonder what Alex accepted as holding up here, where we wouldn't just use the Mana
Probably
Crypt.
dockside.
Well, no, because what would you be holding up the Mana Crypt for? Why wouldn't you just pay for the Sentinel trigger? Oh, because you need the mana to cast the Kinnan. That makes more sense.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
That's how that works.
That is how that
I'm
works.
glad you played this game too.
This is surreal saying Adam's like a giddy child with the power of this overlay. Yeah, I'm so excited to have this.
Yeah, he's very excited. I'm very excited.
Sluglord
too.
Cyrus, I cannot move the players, so I can adjust them like this depending on who's playing the game, but otherwise I can just have it set like this. I just wanted to show you guys the new,
He just wants to show off his toys.
my new toys.
All right, we got Spire of Industry coming down. That's 5 mana. Table should be on alert for an Adnaz. Okay, that's
Ooh,
a
and a Soul Ring?
Soul Ring.
Yeah.
I didn't know what that was.
That's a secret layer printing Soul Ring, so I
Gotcha.
didn't expect.
Oh
you
my
to
god, the mana's just coming out right
Alana
now.
drawing so many cards that she just has mana to dump and play. I mean, if this was one of those OG Blue Farm decks playing Pure into the Abyss, we have the mana available for it. So luckily that card's unplayable, so you won't see it in this game.
Or this tournament. Wait a second. Anyways, yeah, we have the 2 black. We have a lot of mana here. We could play the Tymna out. I wouldn't feel comfortable just playing. Oh, it looks like we just passed the turn. Never
Pass the
mind.
turn. I mean, we're holding
Okay.
up so much mana here, and
Yeah.
you're drawing what's possibly 2 cards per turn, especially because no one's paying for this, right? Look at the mana advantage that Alana has compared to the rest of the table. Like, Josh is not going to be paying for any of these Esper
These guys
Sentinel
mold to
triggers.
5, so
Yeah.
they're not going to be able to pay. They need to develop their boards. They're not going to sit there under a one-sided stacks piece
Sluglord
of
resist-
Esper Sentinel.
Saying he's resisting the urge to ask you about our OBS setup. We have a manual switcher, Sluglord, which is why I can't adjust the overlay images. So that's why. So on to Ken's turn. Ken probably deliberating like a ton here about what he's going to do on this turn,
If he can get if he taps out for the Sakashima here, which I don't think he can do that, but if he does, I don't know. That's pretty dangerous with what Alana has just presented onto the board.
You can see Ken here kind of sitting back in his chair, like tanking, looking at his cards, looking at the board state, saying, do I really want to draw a lot of more cards? What do I want to play, and how smart should I really be playing this out? Looking at the cards in his hand very methodically, thinking if it's worth it to go off here or if we should just wait, you know? Alana holding up a ton of mana. I would expect her to have some type of interaction in hand. There's no way that we had to have drawn this Soul Ring and this Mana Crypt, because there's no way we just held on to mana development and nothing else, you know?
Could just be an Adnaz.
Could just be an Adnaz. Oh, Ken.
Okay, Ken's here. I would be terrified to be sitting across Ken from the table right now. I could not read his expression. Mask on, glasses large, hat just covering his eyes. I don't know what's going through this guy's mind.
Oh, man. So, yeah, I actually do like that we have this player view available to us, because we can see in moments like this where the board state isn't progressing, there's a lot of table talk and politics going on. You can see Ken kind of putting his head in his hands here, kind of trying to decide, what am I going to do with this play? And we have a judge at the table here. You can see Shauna in the back getting some food right now.
Wait.
Like,
oh, yeah, that's her. I mean, that's Zain. Anyways.
This is interesting to see, because the board isn't progressing. This would be a case where maybe some of the other players at the table would be willing to call something like slow play, right? When nothing is happening and people are just talking, kind of saying like, hey, let's make a move and see where we're going. And it looks like Ken is tapping his mana, tapping out here, 3 mana, for a Jeska's Will.
Okay.
Oh, asking if he'll pay for the Esper Sentinel, Alana, knowing that she'll draw a card here.
So, my usual strategy when I play against Krark and they play a card like Jeska's Will onto the stack for their first spell, it doesn't matter what their first spell is. You don't wait for the flips. Just counter that spell. Just counter the Jeska's Will. If you can, get rid of it. Oh, hey, we got a shout out on the table here. O3 Adam.
I love that. I couldn't see that because of the players. I know it's a play. Swords to Plowshares on the Tavern Scoundrel, I'm assuming?
That has to be it.
Right? Because we don't want these flips to happen and then us get some treasures for this mana.
Yeah, you just don't. Oh, there's a deflecting swat coming out.
And then more Krark triggers. So here we go. Ken deciding to kind of storm off here.
That's almost infinite mana, depending on how these clips go.
This could be really, really, really interesting to see how this goes here.
Maybe Ken heard me talking. He knew that I would interact with his first spell, and he kept the deflecting swat to generate oodles of mana, hopefully.
Oodles of mana. And Alana had the Fierce Guardianship to back it up, countering the deflecting swat.
No, it has to be on the Jeska's Will.
No, because I think she wants to swords that Tavern Scoundrel. Let the deflecting swat go away so that it can't... but do we still get the flips? So the Tavern Scoundrel. Oh, man. And we copied it. Dang. Hitting the swords. Oh, man, that's brutal.
What's getting wiped out here? We got a Spell Sky here, by the way. I don't know if this is relevant at all. Probably not. But
yeah, I don't know. I think you can hit whatever you think is going to impact Alana's board more. I mean, probably the Kraum here. The Esper Sentinel, at least people are incentivized to pay for it. The Kraum, you have nothing that you can do about.
And there's the 2 treasures from the Tavern Scoundrel with J-Will still on the stack. To be honest, I would have just fierced the J-Will.
Yeah, that makes more sense now in hindsight, like why we would.
There's no hindsight. I said it in the beginning.
You know, okay, thanks, Dave. Sluglord Cyrus saying the right play is always just call slow play on Ken. No, I see.
Ken plays this pretty well.
Yeah, I see why Ken was tanking here in this moment, trying to decide if I'm safe to go off, what can I do? Alana's drawn all the cards that she can for the turn, so now you're waiting for the rest of the players, and you can see that Alex put a mental misstep on the Swords copy.
It's probably targeting his Kinnan?
I would assume it would be targeting his Kinnan. And then that Swords is going to fizzle, or no, because the SWAT changed the target of the Swords. So then Alex countered the Swords, probably changing the target of the Swords to Alex's Kinnan. So that would make sense now. And now we have a Jeska's Will with a Tavern Scoundrel still in play. Like, this is tough to watch here. Looks like it's going back to hand.
Okay, that's a best possible outcome for this table.
Yeah, but we
need to fear for this Jeska's Will on the next turn.
We should have 4 tokens into play, though, if I'm not mistaken, because we flipped a coin for the deflecting swat, and then we flipped a coin for the Jeska's Will. So we should be able to recast the Jeska's Will here.
No. He just has 2 treasures. But there's a ritual coming out. Okay, we're going to live by the coin, die by the coin here.
Oh, no, it's whenever you win a coin flip. Duh.
Yeah, read the card.
Reading the card
I
explains
wish
the
I could
card.
tell Alex to stick his hand out.
He does, yeah. Alex, except it does have a tattoo on his hand that says "Read the effing card."
Yep.
So, we won another flip there, so we're making 2 more treasures, and we get to copy the ritual. So
This is
tons,
looking really bad.
yeah.
This is looking really bad.
We're gonna get to cast another Jessica's Well here, and we know the table's out of interaction. So this could be Ken running away with the game here.
Now, here's a good... how many cards does the... Oh, never mind. That doesn't work.
Yeah, you can see the other players at the table kind of staring at their hands, shuffling their cards around, hoping that they'll change if they look at them hard enough. Maybe it'll be another counterspell. Maybe Alana put 2 Fierce Guardianships in her deck. Who knows? But we're hoping for something at this point.
I mean, I am a believer in just believing so hard in something that you just switch reality. You switch timelines. It's how I'm able to maintain my tournament record. I just believe that I'm going
Look
to
at
win
how
games, and I win
much-
those games.
Look at how much red mana that we have in play right now on Ken's board. We have 2 treasures available to us, and we have 6 red mana available. And we know we have a Jessica's Will in hand, and we can cast it 2 more times here if it doesn't resolve.
Well,
and
I'd
it
have to
triggers.
imagine the Sakashima needs to come out now.
That's a very good realization.
I think
right?
if that comes out, this game is done.
Yeah, it looks like we're setting aside 3 mana here. We can cast our Sakashima and still cast our Jessica's Will, cracking our treasure for presumably a blue. This is how you see Krark go off on turn 3. Something that we predicted could happen.
Once the Tavern Scoundrel came down, it was looking dicey.
Yeah. So now we have a
Get it?
Sakashima on the stack. Looks like, Josh had something.
Oh,
a
Pyroblast on the stack. Okay, this they're not out of the woods yet.
Oh, and
They're still in
Alana's still
trouble.
drawing cards. Still drawing cards from this Esper Sentinel. So we have outs. Looks like the Sakashima is getting countered.
This J Will still live.
Yeah, the
They're
J-Will's-
still in trouble. Like it's not. This is not. It's better than before, but it's not great. Okay, presumably this J Will's coming out again. So we flip
And
off
we
the
have another
top.
J-Will off the stack. And we have a trigger on the top.
Now, if this flip is won, the Sakashima will come out, and we will see what happens on the top of the deck here.
Scoop, another resident Krark expert, saying, no need for Saka, just the bait. Oh, that's a 6. It's cocked a little bit, but it's most definitely a 6. So we're going to make a copy here. We're going to create 2 more treasures off the Tavern Scoundrel. And now we're resolving a Jessica's Will, and Alana has presumably 7 cards in hand, at least. We're going to know exactly when we see these tokens come back into play, but this is another huge ritual here.
Yeah,
we
this
don't
is-
really need the Saka. You know what? We can just recast it again. Why not?
Looking real poor for our heroes here. Not to say that Ken isn't a hero. Yeah. Let's see what we flip. Is it game-ending spells? Oh, okay. I see. What is that? That's Stormkiln Artisan? If that's Stormkiln Artisan, I
That
think
looks like Stormkiln, and then that's also that's a copy spell.
that's a Heat Shimmer.
Yes, a Heat Shimmer.
So this is looking pretty. It's looking pretty bad.
Heat
I don't know
Shimmer-
what's in hand though. I think he doesn't have. Oh well, we have another flip coming.
So yeah, and we have mana now to get Sakashima out and cast that Heat Shimmer, so that we have 3 Krarks in play. So
I don't think that's what we're doing though.
I mean, if this we didn't lose one of the Jessica Will flips, right? So
No,
we
no,
only
no.
had 1 flip, so we
won,
made a copy.
We won the flip, and then we're gonna have 2 Jessica's Wills. Let's see what we flip off the top. I don't know what's in his hand, but this is looking pretty bad.
Yeah, I mean, we have so much mana in play. Like, this is... It would be hard to see Ken not be able to make it out of this situation, especially with treasures in play to crack the blue spells that we're going to get off the top.
Oh, nobody asked what that glare on the camera is. Those are the Epic Storm tokens from our sponsor, the Epic Storm. You can get them on their website. If you were wondering what the glare was, thanks nobody on the chat.
Yeah. Speaking of sponsors, another sponsor for this event has been Moxfield. Moxfield MTG. Moxfield is the best deck building website for all your resources when it comes to MTG. They actually help sponsor this event to take this event to a 5K tournament. One of the biggest prize supports we've had for cEDH. So really cool to see here.
Flipping Harmonic Prodigy. That is just a Sakashima for 2 mana here. If there's a good payoff spell in hand right now, since we don't have the Jessica's Will anymore, this game is looking done.
We need, I mean, there's a lot of outs now in the modern day Krark Sakashima deck too. Something like an Underworld Breach here to go off with infinite Gitaxian probes. Like,
I think I heard, I don't know if I'm right about this. I thought Ken cut Breach combo out of his deck. He has the Breach, but no longer.
Yeah, I
the
don't think you
LED.
need. Yeah, I don't think you need Breach combo in a deck like Krark Sakashima. It's just a value Yawgmoth's Will in a deck like this, especially when the spells go back to your hand. When you can develop something like this board state where you can have up to 4 Krarks if you really wanted to, which is really crazy to see. And you don't even need 4 Krarks. You could just Heat Shimmer your Tavern Scoundrel and make more mana and go off infinite.
All right, so
Stormkiln Artist and Harmonic Prodigy being put into play.
We're looking for Oodle. We're looking for cards now. We just need cards. We have mana. We need cards. The Git Probe's in the yard. The J-Will's in the yard. Let's see what comes out.
We need some type of card draw to really go off here. And not getting a second Krark out there for the Jessica's Will was a really smart play by Josh there, because this is a situation where if Ken doesn't have something in hand, he just fizzles here and just ends up with a massive board state with nothing to do with it.
All right, Sokka coming back out.
Yep. So we got 2 Krarks now, a Harmonic Prodigy, a Tavern Scoundrel. Oh, and Alana tapping some mana.
Something's happening.
Is this a Naus?
Ad nauseum, the best
No,
counterspell?
Tapping 3 mana.
What the?
What is that?
Touch the spirit realm?
Touch the
Spirit Realm. Oh, okay.
Okay.
The Spirit Realm has been touched.
The Spirit Realm has been touched. What an interesting card. I believe that's from Kamigawa, right?
Yeah, it has channel. I didn't recognize that art. I have been talking about that card. I just didn't know it came in a different art. Yeah, that card, it has a channel. It exiles a card for a turn. It'll come back at the end step. So just trying to survive
exiled
here.
the Krark.
Yeah.
That's crazy. So now the Sakashima is going to come down as a copy of something that isn't Krark. That might be a huge play here.
I don't know. It's still looking pretty bad. It could just come in as Harmonic Prodigy.
Captain Moral Support saying, why Breach in Krark? Because when you're developing your board state with Krark, you have to expend a lot of the cards that can help you win the game. So when you look at a situation like this where we have Jessica's Will and Gitaxian Probe in the graveyard, if you have 3 Krarks in play and you want a top deck that's going to get you back in the game and let you present a win, all you need is an Underworld Breach and the ability to cast 1 spell from your graveyard to get things to bounce back to your hand and go infinite from your hand again, which is pretty, cool. It's a great utility spell in the deck. But yeah, Touch the Spirit Realm. You may channel it, pay 1 and a white, discard Touch the Spirit Realm, and exile target artifact or creature. Return it to the battlefield under its owner's control at the beginning of the next end step. So could force, Ken to end up having to pass the turn here without a Krark in play. And with the Sakashima on the stack, such a good sandbag from Alana to wait until...
Could have just been drawn to as well.
That's a good point. It could have also just been drawn in this exchange. But I'll give Alana the benefit of the doubt and say that she must have held on to that for a while.
Yeah, these channel cards really coming in strong. I think with the release of like Boseiju and then Odawara, people were saying, yeah, this stuff is crazy. So some players, they've been pushing further, have been saying, what other channel cards can we play? So I know Touch the Spirit Realm is one of them. And there's another one that's like a 4-mana creature, has a 2-mana channel, and it does like 4 damage to something, I think.
Team Turn 3 in the chat saying, damn, I'm envious of Alana getting to touch Ken with that Touch the Spirit Realm.
Touching his Spirit Realm. Yeah, don't make it weird.
Yeah, we all want to touch.
Just the Spirit Realm.
We all want to touch Ken's Spirit Realm, Pongo. Yeah, really cool. Really cool to see that. Touch the Spirit Realm. Interesting new card, new tech that people had been sleeping on for a while. So seeing it getting some play is really cool to see. To see that new cards are always getting entered into the format like constantly. So
yeah, always got to be checking back in. If one card is powerful, maybe see what's similar. People will be like, no, you don't need to run more of that. No, you just check it out. Try it out. Looking pretty good here. Not the best, but looking pretty good.
So it looks like Ken is casting Heat Shimmer here. Putting a bunch of triggers on the stack now.
All right, we're about to make a lot of
treasures.
Like
way too many treasures.
Do we have cards though? We
need
cards.
We have multiple Stormkiln artists. So let me pull this card up.
Can we get a skull emoji in the chat?
A skull emoji?
No, not skull. Skull. I don't know if they still have it on Twitch. Anyone know what I'm talking about? No. Maybe I'm a boomer. Maybe I'm too old.
I think you're a boomer. Yeah, I think
let me
you need
try
to get with the
it.
Zoomers like Shauna and I. Yeah, so we have multiple Stormkiln artists. Tavern Scoundrel's still into play, but we're not getting any flips anymore. So the Tavern Scoundrel's kind of got no text at this point. But whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell, create a treasure token with the Stormkiln Artist. So, casting that Heat Shimmer, making a copy of something, and then making more treasures. I mean, look at the mana on Ken's board. This is absolutely ridiculous. And we're getting our Krark back, so we could have some type of instant speed draw and just go off at instant speed here.
Brain freeze
From Alana.
Alana.
Whoa. Are we targeting ourselves?
I would target myself, especially if I have a Savines or a Breach in hand.
This is crazy. And look at the storm count. Alex is keeping track of storm for us. Let's say the storm count is 15 at this point. That Esper Sentinel might deck you out, man. Yeah, we're getting to the point where that's like an actual thing. And it looks like Alana's targeting herself here with this Underworld Breach. So, 15.
If I were these other players, I would be looking to see what interaction is not in this deck.
And look at Force of Will, Deflecting Swat. All these cards are being revealed right now.
Yeah, they're coming out of the deck. LED. Okay. Oh, that's a nice Japanese one. I want one of those. Crunch, you have mine, right? Okay, I can't do business.
Keep an eye out.
Stream,
we want to hit the Savines Reclamation unless we have it in hand. There's Ad Nauseam.
There's Ad Nauseam. Yeah, these players need to be looking at. There's
Underworld Breach. So if we hit Savines Reclamation, which I don't think we did,
could be in hand.
It could be in hand, which would be such an insane play.
Or I don't know if Alana is playing this card. Let's take a look here. This is the wrong deck list. Let's take a look here. No, I'm not seeing a Yawgmoth's Will.
Yeah, very interesting then.
The only other fear I would have at this point is Kenrith Alex playing a Mnemonic Betrayal.
Mnemonic Betrayal here would be an insane...
You need to be careful of that.
Yeah, that would be a huge swing in momentum here, especially with, so look, we see Josh here is thumbing through the deck. So we have Imperial Seal, for free mana, I mean, we have some land drops and things like that. We have some Talismans, some Wheels, a lot of 1 mana, Tutors and things like that. Thassa's Oracle's in the bin as well. Soul Ring. So we have a lot of low cost, mana ramp, but I don't see any 0 cost things, right? I mean, we already have the Soul Ring, the Mana Vault, and the Mana Crypt in play. So what else do you have besides Chromox, Mox Diamond, and things like that? So very, very cool to see. But we didn't hit the Savine, so we're going to be watching Alana very, very closely.
I think she has the Savines in hand. Only way that makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, a huge play. And then we see Ken playing a Phantasmal Image, copying the Esper Sentinel.
We were talking about how he needed cards. He's going to get those cards.
The Dark Ritual is saying a 45 card dump. Yeah, I mean 15 times 3, whatever that is.
Yeah, don't do math. Yeah. I just write code.
It's 45. Yeah, nice job, Dark Ritualist. Yeah, hey. Eminence MTG saying they already hit Savine's Rec. Okay,
dude, we're Eminence MTG. Who's saying that?
Yes, who's typing in our chat? It's not us. No. Okay.
Oh, they hit Savine's Rec in the first 12. Okay, all right.
Thank you for that clarification. It's hard for us to see sometimes with how fast the players are moving.
So full combos out there. Tables should be on high alert here. I would be careful on... Looks like... Wait, what's happening here? Okay, Niv player is untapped.
Okay, so it looks like the Krark has come back into play. Niv player is untapped. We're moving to Josh's turn. Josh skipping right through main phase 1, going to combat, hitting Alex with a Kinnan.
That's not good.
Getting a Lion's Eye Diamond. Okay.
Discard your hand. I would play the LED and just play the Niv and pass the turn.
I don't even know if I'd play the LED. Leave that in Kenrith's Exile, right?
Just play it and play your Niv.
Just
turbo greed.
I guess you could get your Niv
Put
out here.
all the burden on Ken and Alex to deal with this breach.
Hey, Elder Drunken Highlander in the chat. Welcome to the chat, Josh. Very happy to see you here. Thank you for joining us. Yeah. Oh, we are casting the LED. Maybe we are getting Niv out.
If that was me, that's what I would do. Just turbo. I already know I have no interaction in hand, which I'm assuming he does not have interaction in hand. Just play out the Niv. Let these two people duke it out. Maybe you draw something on the breach turn. Who knows? I think that's your best bet.
Yeah. What a cool and interesting pot. To see Ken be able to do what he did on turn 3 in Krark Sakashima was so cool to see. And look at all this mana development. We have an Esper Sentinel in play, hoping to draw some cards, but the table's getting to a point where they are paying for triggers. Savines is in the bin.
The chat told us 3 times.
We know Savines is in the bin. Thank you to everyone in chat.
Can someone in chat tell me what Savines does exactly? I'm not sure. I don't think I've seen that card.
Yeah. We actually winning the game and drawing cards is really bad in our meta, so we don't play cards that do those things.
Fear battle cruiser. Like I don't do Ristic study. Get that crap out of here.
Yeah.
Like,
No way. What's a Thoracle? I don't know. I use it to scry too.
I
Anyway.
actually did that the other day. I said I was going to cast my Thoracle to scry because I was really out of the game, and then they pyroblasted it anyways. They were like, "We can't trust you, man. Like you could have anything." My hand was like 3 talismans.
So yeah, so it looks like we cracked the LED here to get the Niv-Mizzet out, and we had an Ophidian Eye and a Muddle mixture that we discarded.
So discarding the win con, but I still think this is the correct play. The Niv is out. You're gonna come if you get back to your turn. You're gonna come with like basically a nosed out hand.
Well, not only do you have a Niv out, but you already have the Spellskite out, so your Niv is protected.
Well, also the Niv deals with Ken's board.
Yes, very well, and the table's incentivized to cast into your Niv to help you deal with Ken's board. Otherwise, Ken's just going to untap, draw a draw spell, and go off.
Yeah. So this is where Ken is a little dicey. Shauna, do you want to sit and tell us more about the Krark versus Niv matchup? What's going on here?
So let me tell you about this Krark deck that was consistently on my LGS. So I once had my Jeweled Lotus infinitely Mog salvaged by him, and then right after, the game after, I got paired against him again, and I got my Jeweled Lotus Force Negation pitching blue card on turn 1. Because Krark cannot win through Niv-Mizzet. Krark is it's a 2/2. It dies to like literal breathing. So the fact that Ken is now facing down a Niv, even with no cards in hand, it's not looking good. It is really not looking good.
No, it is not, yeah. And it looks like Alex kind of debating. Let's actually check in on the players here and see what they got going on. So you can see a lot of table talk going on, right? Alex putting a dork into play, just, developing some mana, being like, there's not much I can do. No, it's things I can come up with. And just kind of talking aloud, talking through their plays. Wondering where this is going to go because, Alana has a win presented on board. Ken has a win presented on board. Like, this is not looking good for the rest of the table. And here we go. Alana untapping here. We know she has Savines and Bin. Do we just rip it? Grip it and rip it and go for it? Mana Crypt Trigger. We're losing the flip there. It doesn't matter. We have 29 life. And we have Savines, Brain Freeze, Underworld Breach, and LED all in the graveyard. So the win is here.
It's interesting, though, to see that Alex has really presented nothing to the board so far. We didn't realize that, there's a Grand Abolisher. Oh, God.
Oh, my God. So Alana basically telling the table, interact now or this game is over.
Yeah.
Let's see how the table responds.
And unfortunately, Grand Abolisher is something that you do not like to see as a Niv-Mizzet deck because unless you have some kind of...
Oh, Alex has an answer. Tapping the Underground Sea for a Mystical Tutor.
Mystical Tutor.
Ah. Oh, holding priority, tapping the Mana Crypt to pay for the Esper Sentinels?
To pay for both Esper
Yeah,
Sentinels?
never
Here we
mind.
go.
Not holding
Okay.
priority. All right, here we go. What are we tutoring for? We have no way to draw something off the top. Ooh, did you guys see that? We saw that Josh here revealed something from his hand. He has one card in hand, and that card is a Gilded Drake. So no answer for anything that's on the board now. So we know that the one card in Josh's hand is a Gilded Drake, and Alex is casting a Mystical Tutor here. Alana, with this Grand Abolisher on the stack, if this thing resolves, this game could be over unless Ken has exactly something like Otawara.
What do you mean? Creatures are uncounterable.
Yeah, this is the point where like a channel spell like Otawara or things like that could come into play. Alex putting the Mindbreak Trap on top, not really going to answer this Grand Abolisher, so it's going to be tough to see how this plays. All right, so the Grand Abolisher back on the stack. Looks like it's resolved. We're tapping 5 mana here, floating a colorless.
To recast the Savines from the bin.
Casting the Savines Reclamation from the bin. Guys, I think Alana is taking this one down.
Looks like it. And unfortunately, even with a live Niv in play, there's nothing you can do about that Grand Abolisher because you got to cast spells to keep it going. Unless you had some kind of top or Fire Islet and play to draw a card after that. It's hard to kill that Grand Abolisher when it comes down.
Yeah.
Especially with no cards in hand.
Yeah, this might be it. Alana, a great player, off to an amazing start in this game as well. Blue Farm is her tried and true deck. It's what she kind of got on the scene playing, what she's always been playing. And it seems to just put up result after result after result for Alana in these tournaments. Torpid Ninja asking, what are the stakes for the event winner? Well, it's funny that you asked that. I can actually give you the exact numbers for this. So, where's it all the way?
So the event winner is going to get a whopping $1,100.
Here
And
we
then
go.
the following second through fourth receives 500, and then fifth through 16th receives $200 each for a total of 5K.
Yeah, so $5,000 on the line for everybody that's playing in here, and $1,100 goes to the winner. So there's a lot on the line for you to, come out to this event and try to get this, win this game. And it looks like, are we going to...
Yeah, team turn 3, Niv still triggers through Abolisher, so it looks like we're trying to get rid of it here with the channel. Or not with the channel, because channel is from hand. So, recasting it from the yard for its actual mana cost to get rid of Niv.
So this would be... So I'm curious what we targeted here, because when the Grand Abolisher was on the stack, there's nothing there. We casted Savine's Recollection.
Yep,
Looks like they're
over.
scooping it up. Yep, Alana's winning the game here.
Incredible.
Holy crap, that was cool to see. To see Ken go off on a storm turn like that, where we have, a 15-count storm, and then Alana just saying, you know what, I'm going to value this Brain Freeze here and just see if I get it.
Exactly.
And hitting it there was insane. And for Alex and Josh not to have any answers to her board state really shows. Sometimes it's not always about going off first. And I think that's ended up what happening for Ken there. Going off first took all the interaction out of the rest of the players' hands at the table.
That's what I said at the beginning.
And it
Who's
opened...
going to win second?
Basically, that's kind of how cEDH works, too. It is who is going to win second, right?
Not always. You got to look at the pod.
Yeah, but I mean, in a situation like this, we see it more often than not. And so seeing Alana kind of pull that one out there was really cool and shows like how strong she is as a player here, kind of dominating these Swiss rounds consistently in these events that we play in. So she's already starting off this event 2-0. So we're going to keep an eye on Alana throughout the rest of the event and update you guys on the brackets and how things are going.
You can follow the bracket as well on eminence.events. Go to Silicon Dynasty. There should be a button there for you to look at the bracket.
And that is correct, Nihilith. Both featured pods, seat number 1 has won both games. So going first and getting that immediate, priority is just ridiculous, especially with, a turn 1 Kraum. And if I remember correctly, our last turn 1 was pretty powerful as well on... It was also Tymna Kraum.
By Matt Sperling.
By Matt Sperling, yep.
Yeah, we've seen 2 Tymna Kraum decks, by the way. That's
Yep.
another good thing to point out.
Tymna Kraum, okay, I can speak on this. Tymna Kraum is about 10% of the cEDH meta. I've looked at a lot of tournament data, and it makes up, there's a bunch of entries. It's about 10% of the meta. So if you're going to come play in a tournament, you need to be prepared to play against this deck. You need to tech against it. A lot of people are playing it. To answer Adam's earlier question when this match first started, it probably is the best Izzet deck right now.
Yeah, Tymna Kraum is probably the deck that you're looking to beat when you come to any cEDH event. And that just seems to be proven time and time again. So, watching this happen, you have 2 Tymna Kraum decks going first in 2 pods, winning both of those games. I think if you look at the metagame breakdown that Scroll Mob puts out, I think first place has a 38% chance to win the game if you're going first in a pod, and
Absolutely.
then it drops off immediately after that. So there's a huge advantage to going first in Commander like this. And in cEDH, it's even more amplified when you have explosive turns. So congratulations to Alana winning that game.
Yeah.
And, props to her for continuously showing up and showing out at these events.
Absolutely. You definitely need to, obviously, we can see why Ken kept his opening hand. But when you get to a Niv player and a Kenrith player, you have to keep tech for that blue farm player, especially going first.